Welcome to the shoulder tap segment, everybody's favorite. We've got our senior risk manager, Mick here. Mick the mustache. How you doing Friday? Happy Friday, Mick. What's going on?
Oh, it's a good Friday. I'm having a great day already, and it's early in the day. Hogue, thanks for putting those glasses on. Everybody out there, hey, happy Friday, everybody. Before we started the segment, we were talking about mustaches and whatnot, and I said, Hoagie's, he's got a better mustache than I do, and I want to see him wax
Nah.
those tails of the thing. And I asked him if he could put on his funny sunglasses. John, do you remember when we were at that festival and you had those on the whole time? You were the talk of the festival. We were at a festival at somebody's personal festival, actually. It was kind of fun, and Hogue wore those around. He was the talk of the town, had everybody clinging to him that fun Saturday in Michigan, Shanghai, Michigan. All right. Friday, Rapid Tap is today. So today on Fridays, we deviate from the normal shoulder tap segment and we analyze people's trade. Our traders submit their trades to us, and we go in and we look at areas they can improve, things they can keep doing. We're going to talk about that a little bit here. I do have some shout outs from some of our live traders. I know we were already, I swore. I dropped an F-bomb when I said LFG as far as Rips being up $5,900 today. He's up a little over 8,000 on the week. So big shout out to you, Rips. Shout out to MP. He had that $6,400 winning day earlier this week. He's still up a little over 5,000. So shout out to you. And then we've got, John, I got these hard cards from JD. He brought them in for me to use for my note cards. The old trading
Nice.
floor hard cards. Yeah. Very excited about that. He set them down next to my index cards earlier this week, and I was like, "Ooh, is he putting those over there for me to use?" I didn't use them the first day, and then he said, "I brought those in for you." So I'm all excited about these hard cards. I need to get a couple to click together.
Feel like you're back on the trading floor.
Back on the trading floor. And I've this week, I was like, I need to do a little decor around here. I know we've got a cool picture. We're going to do a poll here in a little bit, but I've been printing out photos from the old trading floor. I actually want to show this one. I don't know if you guys can see it well, but there's a little bit of a glare, but there's a photo from the trading floor, early 2000s. My dad, my sister, and I. My little sister, she clerked down on the floor for a little bit. She was specifically worked for a guy who had bad knees and would sit on the bench on the top step in the wheat pit, and he'd grab her and he'd tell her what order he wanted to have filled, and he'd give it to her verbally, and she'd walk it over to the broker and have the broker fill the order for him. So she liked that. It was always nice having my little sis down there. Not a lot of women on the floor, but my sister worked down there. My wife was in the soybean pit, as a matter of fact, too. I never knew about her because I was kind of busy in the wheat and the corn at the time. But yeah, anyways, let's get back to the shout outs on my new hard card from JD. Shout out to Nicholas. He's up 2,200 today. We've got David up a G-ball, $1,000. Venkata up 1,700. Travis is up 1,400, and then King Lobo is up $1,000. So it's been kind of a quiet week. We've had more offboardings of the live accounts than we've actually had call-ups. I talked about that a little bit yesterday.
Right.
Not a lot of people making money, but Rips is up over 8,000. Michael's up over 5,000. We've got other people profitable, but overall as a whole, the funded traders haven't been doing too well this week. But there are people who are exceptions to that. All right. Let's do this poll. Can we pull up this old trading floor photo? We're having fun today on Friday. All right, so I want to do a poll here of who wore it better. And when I say wore it better, we're talking about mustaches. That's my dad in the wheat pit standing there quarter bid, old black and white photo. It's one of the photos I framed, similar to the one that I just showed you guys. And then there's me in the office. That photo was taken earlier this week. Who wore the mustache better? Can we get a poll? And I want all the creds for the mustache here. But I did take after my old man with the mustache. I've had this thing for a
Yes, you
year
did.
now. My daughter turned 1 year old on Sunday, and I've been calling it my dad stash ever since she was born. I've been keeping the mustache because my father, and all my baby pictures and young childhood pictures, my dad had the stash. My wife's father had the stash, and now I've got the stash. So I'm just keeping tradition going. So yeah, I can't see right now the chat, but I'm sure we got the poll up. So give me a like if you like the stash. Let me beat my dad here on the stash on who wore it better. But again, I think John's got me beat. I excluded you from the poll specifically, John, because look at that thing. You know, those little tails on there. I don't want to compete with you.
I
All
think
right,
we should have the mustache song from A Million Ways to Die in the West playing right now. I don't know if you
that
know that
was.
song, but it's hilarious.
I can't remember the song, but I remember that being one of the most outrageous movies I've ever watched. What's that guy's name? The Family Guy.
Seth MacFarlane,
MacFarlane. Yeah, yeah.
also known as
Definitely
Jack. Also known as Jack.
Jack. Okay. I don't.
Our Jack.
Why
Our
Jack?
Jack kind of looks like him.
Oh,
Jack
okay. All right.
Pelzer.
Yeah, yeah. I see the resemblance there. I see the resemblance there. Seth MacFarlane, aka Jack.
Yeah.
All right, enough funny business. Let's get down to business. We've got the rapid tap, and I got a lot of traders that I want to talk about today. We're analyzing their trades. Remember, these are people that submit their trade reports, their user IDs, their profiles to us. We give them a quick look over. We scratch the surface. We don't do deep dives, but we talk about areas for improvement and things we want them to continue doing. So I think today we'll start with Marco. If we could pull up the card for Marco.
What the heck?
You guys in production
My
are
goodness.
something else. All right. So Marco's got some things that I want them to keep doing. I like that they're trading small. I like that they're grinding it out. You don't see this all the time. This is someone who spends over a month in their trading combine accounts. And I think that's really good because they're not resetting. They are seriously working on improving their trading. The people that grind it out in their accounts, whether their back's against the wall or they're just doing well or they're trading small on their way to their profit target, these are the people that are definitely going to be positioning themselves for improving as opposed to bailing themselves out with resets. So I like that. They're very selective with their trades too. So Marco's someone who's got some good stuff going for him. I think that they need to work a little bit on their trade entry location. And then overall, there's lots of losses here too. I can't do a deep dive on rapid tap for that. But maybe a little bit of coaching or something, or adjusting the strategy might be an opportunity there, because we're seeing lots of losses on these accounts, not a lot of winning trades. So, Marco,
Mick,
have at it, child.
if I could, Marco's extremely risk averse. I mean, we're not even risking more than a tick or two on any of these trades. So if we're bleeding out, it's probably just by 1,000 cuts. Give your trades a chance to trade out.
Yeah, and the 1 or 2 tick losses. I mean, I know there's shorter time frame here. They're trading the 10-year notes and the micro S&Ps. So, with being risk averse, Marco, you got the right foundation there. Number one, John, we need to be preserving our capital. So if you're not risking, too much, that's a good baseline. I think what we need to do is start modifying our strategy here for Marco, because we need to put up some winning trades. But again, good baseline. Like, you want to be, treading water, preserving that capital, and, the winners will come. But we need to figure something out with the strategy here to, allow for some more winners. And that's my take on Marco. If you're ready, I'm ready to move on.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. All right. So this is a cool first name. We've got Beer. Let's pull up the card for Beer.
Right.
Yeah, I think maybe if I ever had a son, I'd like to name him Beer, but I guess that's just a hobby of mine. I don't think my wife would have it. Beer trading out. Beer is out of the Netherlands, trading out of the Netherlands. They've been with us since July. Some things that I like that I want them to keep doing is they're keeping their losses contained in most of these accounts. Overall hold times are good. They're patient with their winners and impatient with their losers. The risk reward is also good at 2-1. But I think we need to adjust the strategy here, just like we were saying for Marco. There's not a lot of winning trades. There's not a lot of winning days. So I think they may, whatever they're doing, they may want to look elsewhere for another strategy. I've talked to a lot of traders, and I've done this myself with my own trading too, is, if your strategy is not working in the current market environment, there's always that, there's a strategy that I think a lot of people can fall back on. And I've heard people submit feedback like, what strategy should I implement and whatnot? I mean, what we want to do as traders is be, buying strength and shorting weakness. So if you're out there doing a little soul searching, trying to find what type of trade should I be making, you can always fall back on the residual strength leaders and laggards. You get your quote board up, put up all the permitted products that Topstep offers, and look at the net change on a day as a percent. And you look at the ones that are on the top of the board, the strength leaders, the markets that are up the most. Look for opportunities to buy those markets. If S&Ps are the strongest, go in and look for a pullback to go long those. And, if you've got crude oil or gold on the downside, net change, they're weak on the day, look for little rallies to sell into and go short those markets. Buy strength, sell weakness. It's not a foolproof plan, but for people that are, looking to, find opportunities in the day, it's a good thing to look at. Do keep in mind, if you're playing the residual strength leaders and laggards, though, as time goes on in the day, the odds of continuation in the direction that those markets have been going up or down do decrease. So this is more of a morning play than an afternoon play. The probabilities and odds of continuation do decrease. I've done the math on it. People smarter than me have done the math on it. So something to keep in mind there for anybody struggling or looking for a strategy to implement in their own trading. So Beer, good foundation here, but let's figure out some profitable strategies. And with that, John, I say we move on to Rice.
Rice. Got it.
I might be botching the pronunciation. Rice, like many of our traders, doing the equity indices, S&Ps, and NASDAQ. I like, just like we were saying with Beer, they're impatient with the losers and they're more patient with the winners. I like the hold times here. But Rice is letting those losses far exceed the winning trades. I don't have the trade report up right now, but I remember seeing that those losses when I was putting this card together were quite a bit more substantial than the winning trades. And again, not having a lot of winning trades there. So we can't do a deep dive here on Rapid Tap, but there's room for growth there, room for maybe changing the strategies up. If you got anything else to add, John, do it, or I'd say we move on to Haben. John, you're on mute. Can't hear you.
I am sorry about that. There are a couple of things that, they're always positive about these traders. And he's only been with us for a short period of time. I don't see a whole lot of information here. So just keep at it, Rice. And, we'll look forward to hopefully seeing your success. Well, let's move on.
Haben. All right. So some areas for Haben to improve. He's got to stay away from that daily loss limit. I looked at multiple accounts, one of which is he's in an XFA right now, down a little bit of money in that XFA, but daily loss limit. He's in a 50K, so $1,000 daily loss limit, not too bad. He has put up some days that are larger than that daily loss limit. So, he's keeping his losses contained to $1,000 and his biggest winning day is bigger than his biggest losing day, that's a good thing. But he's only putting up 25% winning trades and only 40% winning days. I think one of the biggest areas for opportunity and growth here is being more selective with their trades. If you're not right more than 50% of the time, you've got to be more selective. And you also have to focus on that risk reward, which is he's got that going for him here. He's almost at 2-1. So definitely, Haben, leverage that risk reward. We as traders, we have to be very real with ourselves. We've got to say, I'm good at this. I got to maximize this. I got to leverage this. I'm not good at this. I need to cut back on that. So that's what we're doing here with these cards. Things to keep doing, areas to improve. And like I said, he's got to be a little bit more selective with his trades. And, if he could turn those $1,000 losing days, John, if he could turn those into $500 losing days, he'd be eligible for a payout in this XFA. He'd be profitable in this XFA. So just little adjustments like that is a difference between a negative balance and a nice healthy balance. We've got there's only a couple $1,000 losing days in this current XFA. But hey, Haben, you'd be profitable if you just kept those losses contained to $500. So that's my advice to him. I'm ready to move on to Elijah if you are, John.
Let's go. Elijah.
Right, we don't have too much time left, I'm seeing. Elijah.
Yeah, we want to get through as many as we can here.
I'm going to be brutally honest with Elijah here. I didn't see a lot of areas where he could, keep doing what he's doing. It was a little ugly when I pulled this account up. Just resets all over. Tons of trading accounts. Traders, we let you reset when you need to. You're in control of that, but don't use the resets as a crutch. You have a bad day. I don't like seeing people cycle through the resets. You shouldn't be doing it. You don't need to spend your money on that. Take each account that you have and make it work. There's a lot of daily loss limits hit on day one. For someone in a 50K account, if you hit the $1,000 daily loss limit when you got a $2,000 max loss limit, you're cutting yourself, you're losing half of your allowable losses in a single day. You cannot do that and find success in this industry. I'll make the example of, if you had a $100,000 trading account with $100,000 in it, you're not going to risk $50,000 in a single day, but that's what's happening here. And it's just not going to work. So, they're over trading too. So this potentially could be a little bit of a gambling scenario. When I see daily loss limits hit, resets, every other day, and a lot of trading activity, I make the gambling correlation. Traders, gamblers don't make money in this business. Maybe they find short-term success, but you got to grind it out. So cut these losses sooner, Elijah. Be impatient. You're being too patient with your losing trades. Cut the losses quickly. Don't let them get too big, and focus on keeping your account. Don't bail yourself out with the resets. It's not going to serve you well. If you want to make this work, make it work. Don't bail yourself out.
Yeah, don't use that. Don't use those resets as a way to adjust the account. Try John, and dig your way back.
Yeah. Do you have that trade report up? Do you see how many resets they're doing?
I didn't go back and look at how many resets, but I'm just trusting you. And it's easier to do that. You're down near your daily loss or your max drawdown. It's easier just to do the reset than to slow things down and trade your way out of it. But if you do that, you'll be a much better trader for doing that. Dad always said, the hardest steel comes from the hottest forge. If you can dig your way out of that stuff, you'll be better for it.
I was going to ask you to share that quote, John. As many times as I've heard it, and as much as I love it, I still can't remember it myself. So I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're here to help me out with that. All right. Well said, John. Well said. Let's pull up Timmy. Timmy's got some good stuff going. You know, his biggest winning day is bigger than his biggest losing day. He's in a 50K. He's hit his daily loss limit a few times throughout these accounts, but he's also shown us that he can put up $3,000 in a single day. So that's pretty good. You know, he's able to take more out of the markets than he risks. At 3,000, he's taken 3 steps forward and only 1 step back with that $1,000 daily loss limit. So I think he's in a good account size for his trading activity. Anything bigger, you know, if you're looking at a $3,000 daily loss limit, you could be wiping out that biggest winning day. So that's something he's got going for him. As far as areas to work on, he's scalping. He's got 1 minute hold times trading the NASDAQ. It's really, really difficult to be a successful trader if you're scalping these days on the screen. Back in the day in the pits, a lot of the market makers were scalpers. You know, they were working the bid at every price and they were working the offer at every price. But on the screen, with things moving around so quickly now, you know, if you're looking to make 5-10 ticks in the NASDAQ, your risk, I mean, what is it, John? It's, you know, 20 ticks, 30 ticks immediately. So you're setting yourself up, you know, with these quick moving markets, the NASDAQ, you're setting yourself up to be behind right out of the gates if you're trading on a very short time frame, scalping, looking for small winning trades. So Timmy, I'd encourage you to look towards a higher time frame, look for bigger profits, think about risk reward ratio, because as a scalper, you know, your risk reward ratio out of the gates, I would say, is, you know, 1 to 3 basically. And you want to be 3 to 1, something to work on. And over trading, you know, I see it a lot with these shorter time frame traders. Obviously, if you're looking at a shorter time frame, you're going to see or perceive more trade setups in a single day than someone who's looking at a 15-minute or a 30-minute, looking to catch a piece of the trend for the day, you know, buying that one pullback they may get. So I see the over trading or the number of contracts. It goes hand in hand with people trading on a shorter time frame. I want all of our traders to move from a shorter time frame to a higher time frame. It's not an easy thing to do, but Timmy, it's an area to work on. John, it looks like we've exceeded our time a little bit. I like these rapid taps. Gets my energy going.
We got through a lot of them.
We did. And we only didn't get to one of them. Michael B. Michael, we'll talk about you on Monday.
Awesome. All right. Well, Mick, thank you very much. Thanks, everybody, for sticking around. I know everybody really gets a lot out of these shoulder tab segments, and we appreciate you being here with us, Mick.